Another weekend wind down is here. However, I'm starting to wonder if I should call it the midweek wind down or a random day of the week wind down. I just can't seem to keep things consistent. Anyways, we sit down and we discuss the big, beautiful BS bill and how some of the highlights of this bill really don't make sense to us on how anybody can think it's a positive. But, that's just our opinion. We could be wrong. We get into some more Mount Rushmores. We talk about boys and girls basketball players of Knoxville High School who we would put on a Mount Rushmore. And then we dive into KHS athletes in general. Rick always gets a kick out of discussing those, and I always get a kick out of our conversations. So as always, we thank you for listening, and this is this week's version of the Weekend Wind Down with Rick Reed. Here it is, Monday afternoon for our Sunday conversation with Rick, because yet again our Sunday conversation was deleted in the last 10 seconds of our Sunday conversation. So we're back to have the same conversation once again. Rick, it's good to be back again.
It's good to be with you, Chad.
As we start all of them, how was your week health-wise?
Felt pretty good. Second good week in a row, so I feel pretty good about it.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Good health report.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go out and do any somersaults or anything.
No.
But I feel pretty decent.
But, hey, it's better than having 2 I can't get up weeks.
Yes, I've had them too, and I don't want any more of them.
Yeah. Other good news to go along with your 2 weeks of feeling good. If you make $4 million a year, you will get $400,000 in tax cuts.
Wow, that's convenient for me.
Oh, that is a part of the big, beautiful bill that has been passed. I have some notes here on how big and beautiful this bill is. A lot of you local people that think Rick and I are crazy when we say how crazy this is, none of you make $4 million. Maybe you do. If you do, great. It's not my business.
I'm guessing there's not a lot of that.
But 40% of Americans who make $50,000 or $51,000 and less and lower are going to lose $430 a year. So, a lot of people I know fall in that category.
That's not that much money.
Yeah. Hey, if it's $1,
it's too much.
The government has taken it.
Yes.
If your boss at work comes, hey, got a new contract for you here, you're gonna lose $400 a year, I'm gonna pay you less. You're probably not gonna bust your butt at work.
Probably
if not quit. So, just saying. A new thing that we didn't talk about yesterday, but you guys don't know what we talked about anyways. Before Trump was in office, he ran on one of the keys that he can stop the war with Russia and Ukraine. And he actually said, I'm quoting but paraphrasing, I will have it done before my first day in office with one phone call. I'll have it done in one day. I know just what to say to him. He's been in office for what? We'll say 200 days. I don't know how long it's been.
Right.
The war is still going. Now, I agree, him, whoever the president would be, can't step in and finish that in one day. But the fact that he ran on it, wouldn't you consider that he lied to people?
Yes, he did it relentlessly. I mean, look how many things he said he was going to do in a day and all that. He didn't do any of that. And he's a blowhole is what he is.
So I want somebody other than us to be like, yeah, he lies a lot.
A lot?
But they don't even say that.
No, they believe everything comes out of that mouth.
More of the big, beautiful bill, $56 million that provides Narcan to first responders will be cut. Okay, some of you, when I first say that, probably think, yeah, well, the crackheads, that's their problem. Why are we going to spend money on them? Well, what about, a 17-year-old high school kid, let's say he has a great game and goes out after the game with some buddies, makes a choice to smoke weed or something. Dumb choice, but let's say he does it. That is laced with fentanyl. His friends realize, he's like overdosing, so they call 911. Well, in this area, We're in the rural, or probably out in the rural country somewhere. 20 minutes for the ambulance to get there. They realize he's overdosing, so they load him up, take him in because they don't have Narcan. And he dies halfway there because now you got to go 20 minutes back. I'm just not so sure cutting $56 million in situations like that, especially if it's your kid or somebody in this community that we know, bad choice or not,
I'm with you on
is
that.
a good idea.
I'm with you on that. You shouldn't be cutting that. You know what? The problem is people don't care until it happens to them.
No.
And then it's a big, so you have to be open-minded when you look at this stuff and say, well, how would I feel if that happened to me?
Right.
Yeah. They don't do that.
Well, like in your case, look how much research and stuff got cut for cancer.
Oh, a ton of it.
But it's fine.
Think about how many.
But good news is the millionaires are getting that money in tax breaks.
Right.
That's where they're making up that money.
Yes.
They're cutting it from other stuff. And now the ICE got, 150 billion
something
added
like that.
towards theirs,
Yes.
which is more than some countries' militaries.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, what gets me is you wake up and you hear that he cut a bunch of money towards cancer, and then you discuss, no, he didn't. I never heard that.
Yeah. No, he didn't do it.
Yeah, he did do that.
Well, here's the video of him reading it. No, that's probably altered.
Yeah.
That's not what he meant.
Yeah, they always say
Yeah.
that now.
Rand Paul from Kentucky, the Republican, he said it will bring $500 billion in new spending. The bill will. And he claims that they were asking for his vote, and he said he would probably vote for it if the situation with the debt ceiling was figured out. But they needed the vote of the Alaska senator. So Alaska was promised $50 billion in added pork and subsidies to earn their vote. So essentially he's buying votes to get this through.
Isn't that against the law?
Well, I mean, for normal law, but not their law. That's probably not against the law.
Yeah, if I was Alaska, I'd be scared I wouldn't get it.
No kidding. Rand Paul said, I don't believe it is fiscally responsible, talking about the big, beautiful bill. Trump also, when he got in, said his mission or his goal is to do something that's never been done. He is going to balance the budget. This adds $3.8 trillion over 10 years.
Yeah.
So I want somebody who's a big supporter of this bill to tell me how adding $3.8 trillion balances the budget without saying the words Democrats, Joe Biden. I want to see, and I'm not, right now, the president added $3.8 trillion.
He's not going to balance the budget.
No, he can't.
It's not. Well, that's what they said the last time. We're in better shape. No, he spent more money in office the first time than any other president.
That's fine though. It's fine. And then in 2023, Joe Biden was giving a speech to Congress when he exposed the plans that they were going to cut Medicare, Social Security, and he got booed. Everybody stood up and yelled at him, "Boo! We're not doing this." Blah blah blah. This tax spending bill will cut Medicare by $535 billion by the year 2034.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
That's what they say. No, it won't.
Which now, where are we getting that money to give the tax breaks for the rich? Well, there's $535 billion there.
Yeah.
And it will not directly cut Social Security, but experts do warn the acceleration of the trust fund automatically leading to a 24% cut in the benefits.
So if you've paid into Social Security your working life, you think it's okay for people that haven't paid into Social Security to steal our money?
They somehow think that's okay. They justify it somehow.
That's not justifiable. Them dudes want to cut Social Security because none of them have ever paid Social Security in their life.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Go ahead. I'll pay for that rich guy to be rich.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You got to have blinders on. I think it's just cool to say I'm a Republican conservative and that people have no idea what it means.
Well, and to say, for anybody to say this focuses on the middle class, it is asinine.
There ain't one thing on it that...
The most tax benefits are going to the top 20%
Yes.
in America.
Yes.
I'm just outside the top 20%, believe it or not. So it doesn't help me.
No.
but I don't understand it. So the ICE raids, they're saying, habeas corpus, some people think get rid of that, no due process. But one way to prove your citizenship, like let's say, I'm Hispanic and they grab me and lock me up until I prove I'm a citizen. Well, that's my due process, right? I'll get my birth certificate or get my papers. Well, how can I get that if I'm locked up?
Yeah, you ain't gonna.
Yeah. So the logic there is kind of crazy. And they're talking about that what is it, that is it alligator or crocodile something? What is it called? Alligator Alcatraz or something?
Yeah, Alcatraz.
They literally built cages to put these people in and like surrounding it, like in Florida. They didn't put gators there,
right.
But like, and then he jokes and says, well, maybe they need to learn how to defend themselves against gators and blah, blah. Like, I'm firmly believe and agree with, if you're here illegally and doing illegal stuff and not going through the process and have documentation that you're trying to become a citizen,
you should be gone.
That's fine.
Yes.
But kids getting taken from their moms,
I've seen the thing about a kid
getting
this
thrown
morning.
in cages, and a lot of these people are citizens. A lot of these people are being taken from courthouses who are there doing their process. They're there for their day in court, but ICE is there stopping them from going in and then locking them up. But they're doing what they're supposed to do.
I just seen something this morning on TV about a kid. I can't remember the whole gist of it, but yeah, he's a citizen, and they went ahead and took him into, and it was like out of a, I don't know, like English class or something.
But on a positive note, Trump said that the UFC, he wants the UFC to host a fight on the White House grounds. He wants 20 to 25,000 people to attend.
Well, that sounds safe.
The Secret Service's mind is probably blown by that.
I don't think their mind's blown. They've dealt with this long enough with him. They expect something.
I do not believe this will happen, but
I would hope. Well, I don't know.
To even think it's a good idea. I mean, what did George Bush had a T-ball game or something on the ground? Something.
Yeah.
They all do something, but this is a UFC professional fight.
Maybe somebody will drag him in the ring.
During the same speech in Iowa, he said that only 18 out of 10,000 people do not have autism, which means that 9,982 of every 10,000 people have autism. And he said it's all created autism.
Him and that, the rum dum, RFK.
Yeah. They've
been spewing that shit since Election Day.
But to say that only 18 of every 10,000
I believe
don't have autism.
Yeah,
come on, man. Now, RFK, as far as his stuff is he thinks people should be healthier, additives, all that stuff, sure.
He's an anti-vaxxer, man.
But that stuff I don't agree with.
But it's hard for me to fathom. He's an anti-vaxxer, but his kids are vaccinated, and so is he.
Yeah, I don't know. So here's, he wants to get rid of birthright citizenship.
Yeah.
Let me explain this to people who agree with birthright citizenship. Some say if your mom came here and had you, but she wasn't a legal citizen, you shouldn't be either, because you were born here. Do people understand that Barron Trump would not be a citizen because Melania was not a citizen when he was born?
Right.
She is now, but that doesn't mean Barron is.
It's okay.
He was born
it's Donald
an
Trump.
immigrant. But I don't understand how he sees it's okay for him and his.
Well, that's the way he always sees it.
Which leads into, when discussing undocumented immigrants, he referred to farmers and hotel workers and various other people could possibly stay. And he said it would be the farmer's responsibility or the owner's responsibility to keep track of them, which means, for those that don't know, owning people is slavery.
Yeah, and it's against the law.
And he said the owners would be responsible for them. He said this on camera, standing in front of one of the cages they put people in.
Yeah, he's a knucklehead.
What else do we got? the speaker, Mike Johnson, was questioned about.
He's as dumb as the rest of them.
He looked like an idiot here. He was questioned about eliminating a 10% tax on tanning beds. And the reporter said, "Why do you consider a 10% tax on tanning beds to be a priority?" Which Mike Johnson responded, said, quote, "It was an unfair thing the Biden admin put on the industry." And he was quickly corrected live on air that has been in effect since 2010.
So he's bull-faced lying there.
Yeah. So Joe Biden did not make that whatever policy.
He lies like the rest of them.
But what might be more concerning is the fact that no federal court can pass a nationwide injunction now on an executive order. So which means if any president, whichever president is in office, wants to issue an executive order, and even if that executive order is clearly unconstitutional or breaks the law or whatever else, as soon as the president signs it, it goes into effect.
Nobody in this country should want that.
No. Whether you're a supporter or not supporter, you should think that.
I wouldn't want Joe Biden to have that.
An awful.
I wouldn't want a Democratic president to have that.
No, because, I mean, what if they get some radical idea?
Right.
And now all of a sudden, yeah, it's whatever. But anyways.
Okay. Donnie Dumb said it. It's okay.
Yeah, so the big beautiful bill is not beautiful. It is big. It's very big for the rich. They're going to get richer. I know me here in town, I'm not rich. I'm not going to get richer.
I'm not either.
I'm not saying I'm going to get worse off, but if you believe this is for the middle class, you're wrong.
Well, you're delusional.
You're wrong, and you're wrong. You can still support him all you want. Just admit, man, he's really not helping me.
Yeah,
man,
this
he's
bill's
making it
bad.
hard to defend it. So we're going to try something a little bit new. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I'm going to save it, and we're going to pick it back up. And hopefully, if the screen goes blank, it saves at least the first. Moved on to a different subject. So off the politics. A few weeks ago, we did a Mount Rushmore of stuff, which was fun.
Was fun.
Unfortunately, I didn't get this is your second reaction to these same questions from yesterday. But my first question is, we're going to discuss our Mount Rushmore of Knoxville High School boys basketball players. Like I said, some of the luster is going to be out of the conversation.
Right.
Because you've had time to think about it more. We already know what we're going to say. So, your top 4 boys basketball, Knoxville High School, past, present, obviously not future, I guess, but however you want to list it. Who you got?
Well, I would definitely, from what I hear, Jeff Putnam.
Yes. I have heard all kinds of Jeff Putnam stories.
Toby and Kirk.
Yep, I have Toby and Kirk. Kirk, by far, in my opinion, is the shoe-in number 1.
I think he's the best player that's played basketball here. I've said that since I've seen him play. I think he's the best basketball player that I've seen play here.
I did not put Jeff on there, not because he's not deserving.
And I don't know if he is. It's just from what you hear.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, he was All-State, or at least honorable mention All-State, I believe. I have Toby Whiteman on there.
I think you'd have to put Tyler Houston Price somewhere in there.
I have, yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. He's not on mine, but I'm not disagreeing with it. I have Brent Shreves.
That's a good one too.
If I remember right, I was little, but he was lights out, wasn't he?
He could shoot it.
Just shoot and shoot.
He was a player. He could run the floor really well too.
And I actually put most recent of players. I think David Heiss is in the mix.
Shady Dave's way up the list.
He was All-State selection.
Yeah,
his average was high
per
game.
He would be way up the list.
And what I like about David, of course, I coach David as well, but like his demeanor.
Yeah, it never changed.
Calm. Like in golf, even in basketball, like I'm sure he had to take the final shot and missed it a few times. He never got down or worked up. It's like, it's life, man, move on.
That's the way
I remember in golf, we were at sectionals, and he wasn't winning sectionals, but he was leading greatly to go to state next week, and he just had a collapse on like 2 holes, and he just looked like, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's how you got to do it.
I was like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Be a 17-year-old kid, like, it is what it is, man. Whatever.
Yeah, he's pretty calm.
So, yeah, I have Tyler would be in the mix.
Liston.
John Liston would be in the mix. But, again, too old for me. I don't know.
Shepard.
Alan Shepard, was it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Now let's flip that to girls real quick. So this is something I didn't really think of, but I think the first girl you put on there had to be Megan Excel.
I'd agree with that.
She's probably the best Knoxville girls basketball
I agree
player.
with that.
I think Haley Jones, the older Haley Jones, or two Haley Jones,
Right.
the older Haley Jones
is on that list.
probably on there.
Probably right behind
Megan.
Yeah.
You said
Hannah Weedman's got to be on that list.
Yeah,
I
Hannah
would
Weedman
just-
was definitely showed up on mine.
Right.
And then it got like you said, Katie Houston probably. You got Tara Petty to talk about.
Katie Houston was one of the hardest nosed players we ever coached here.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure there's probably some girls we're missing in there.
I'm sure there is.
But
I was trying to think.
These just stand out, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's always players you miss, but they were the ones that really stand out in my mind.
Yeah. And then we finish it off with the Mount Rushmore of KHS athletes. All around athletes. Now, I don't know if you want to do a separate boys, separate girls list.
Boys that have to be, of course, we talked about Brent Dugan.
Brent Dugan and Brent Shreves are my first
Brent
two.
Shreves.
I then have Pat Heist down.
Probably so.
I then put David back up there in the mix.
He'd be in the mix.
What do you got? Who else I got? I got Chris Kemmer in the mix. Josh Derry in the mix.
Josh Derry, yep.
Again, I'm sure there's other boys out there. These just popped in our minds pretty quick. Now, if you were going to just say best athletes, naturally we're going to lean towards men, boys.
Right.
More familiar. But if I was mixing it, I would put Brent Shreves and Brent Dugan on there.
Yeah.
And then I would put Lauren Cavanaugh on there with them.
Right, with the girls.
Because she is the most lettered athlete, boy and girl, that we can come up with. She got 3 letters for 4 years. She got 12 varsity letters. I don't know if that's been repeated or done elsewhere by anyone.
I don't know.
Now, of course, back in the day, I don't even know how they did it.
Because David would have only done it in 3 sports, right? Golf, baseball, and basketball.
Yeah.
Or did he play as a freshman as basketball?
Oh, David? Yeah. Would he have lettered? Did he play golf his freshman year, and would he have lettered is the thing?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Surely he would have, wouldn't he?
You would think. I don't know. I'll have to.
He lettered for me.
Freshman, sophomore, junior, all of them.
Yep.
Would he have lettered his freshman year in basketball?
The thing is they would have lost a year of COVID in there, right? Or was that after it?
Oh, when did he graduate? Is he 21 yet? 3 years ago. He was in high school during COVID, right?
Yeah, so he wouldn't have got it.
So he might have missed us. He was a junior, sophomore.
Sophomore,
year,
wasn't he?
Junior.
I mean, a sophomore because Jason would have been a junior. Yeah, that's when it was. So
Would
he'd
he have
lost.
would he have lettered his freshman year in basketball? I don't know if he played varsity as a freshman.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Have to ask Hughes on that one.
But he did for me.
He's up there in the top,
Right.
Best athletes,
Right.
for sure. Again, there's others I'm sure we're not thinking of that deserve it. Just because, like, for example, Kirk didn't play baseball, did he?
No.
Probably could have, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Played football.
yeah.
Haley Jones could have been. She
Yeah.
was big into track and
Yeah. I don't think she had
Basketball.
anything in the fall, though.
no.
But again, it doesn't mean she couldn't.
Right.
We're just,
Right.
I guess you don't have to be a 3-sport athlete to be considered one of the best athletes, but it just helps in the rankings, I guess, when we're trying to brainstorm it. But yeah, I just figure those couple categories.
Yeah, them are interesting. I always like doing these.
Would be good. But we're going to see what else is coming up. So, 2 healthy weeks. What's this week look like? You had doctor's appointments today?
No, I had a different appointment today. Nothing to do with that.
I think you said yesterday you got the week off this week.
I do believe I have the week off this week. And then it's pretty busy next week, I think. Yeah.
You're just told in the morning where you're going and what you're doing?
Well, no, I usually get night before.
Oh.
Yeah, so next week's the busy week.
You guys, shortly after I left here yesterday, you passed me on 34, just off the off-ramp. I was going to, I don't know how I was going, Lowe's or something, get something. You guys went around me?
We were going to Oquaka.
Oquaka?
Look at the river. I love the river, man. Yep. We do it every now and then.
Just get out and hang out?
Just out and drive around, look at the water.
You know, I think you told me to go when the Eagles are out.
Oh, it's awesome down there at Lock and Dam.
I've never done it.
Down at Lock and Dam 18, that place is full of eagles in the wintertime.
I've never done it. I think the kids would like that.
It is. It's awesome.
I think I'd like it. Who cares if the kids like it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
The fair is in town.
Yeah.
You excited about the fair? You gonna go out and get on the tilt-a-whirl and throw up all over the place?
No, I think I'll have to pass.
Were you ever a carnival rider?
Not really.
Oh, I wasn't. I couldn't stand those stupid things.
I get sick on them.
I believe the armbands for the fair are 30 bones a pop.
Woo.
I have 6 kids. That's $180 plus 3 each to get in. So that's $200 to the damn fair to get in.
Where are you going?
Oh, wait, I got to get in. That's over $200.
Where are you going?
What?
Where are you going?
Oh, yeah. We'll take them Friday to ride.
Hey, it's kind of like gas.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, you keep doing it. So
now, in the Fair Board's defense, they don't set the prices for the armbands.
Right.
Carnival does, but I think it's like $30 for. Is it? Surely it's more than 2 hours.
4 hours probably.
Jesus.
That used to be when I was a kid. You get an armband from noon to close.
Yeah, for like $10 maybe. You just ride all day. You can keep it on yourself. Go clean up. Go do it again.
That's when I was a carny.
Everybody at the fair, it'll be hot. It stinks at the fair. It smells good sometimes of the food, dogs and stuff.
But if you get the drinking and all that going on,
we will go to the concert Thursday.
And then what's the big name behind that?
Clint Black and Diamond Rio. So we'll go scope that out. That should be pretty good.
And there are tractor pulls and
as tractor, I think tractor pulls tomorrow or Wednesday.
I think you're right, tomorrow.
And then nothing Wednesday. They got rid of the races.
Really?
They don't do those anymore. And then Thursday concert, Friday figure 8, Saturday demo.
I think that is how it is.
Isn't that crazy that Knox County Fair doesn't have races?
Yeah, it's weird.
I just don't think they were getting people to show up, like drivers.
Right.
Does Blake still drive?
Yeah, he's been winning a lot.
Yeah?
He leads in points in Peoria and Quad Cities.
Oh, shit. How often they race? How often does he race? Is it
twice a week?
Twice a week. One there, one
Friday,
there?
Saturday. Once in Peoria, usually, and one in the Quad Cities.
And what's that season? Is it just like a summer season?
To like first into September, I think it is. Like April to September or something.
So when I was younger, like my brother went all the time, especially with his dad to the races. I could never stay awake, but I'd go sometimes. But it's too bad Knoxville doesn't have a weekly races again.
You used to have on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, but if I'm correct, are like Blake's tracks quarter-mile tracks, and this is half-mile.
Right.
It's probably a huge difference.
Huge difference. I don't know anything about it. He tells me all the time it's a huge difference when you're racing.
But then you think about you get like 10, 12 cars on a quarter-mile track. I mean, that's going around the track down here at the high school.
Right.
Cars at like, I don't know how fast they get up to.
Fast.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, thanks.
But I think it sucks that it's gone from here, but hopefully maybe one day it'll come back. I don't know what it would take to convert that to a quarter mile.
They've always talked about it, but never did do it.
I don't know if you'd have to cut the infield in half, essentially, but doable, I would think.
I think they don't because.
But then you got to get in the circuit, and how much is that going to cost?
Yeah, and then you got to maintain the track.
Oh, my brother would do that for free.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, he loves it. I think he usually takes this week off. He goes out there. He'd do the tractor pulls, then he'd stay late Tuesday night, all night, getting that front stretch ready, and then Thursday, then into the demo. Like, he's out there all the time. He loves that stuff.
He's on the board now.
Yeah, I think he's vice president. But his dad used to maintain it.
I remember that.
And then he started maintaining it with him when he was younger. But
good for him.
He loves that stuff.
You got to have people like that.
Yeah. I mean, the fair, I know they took a hit last year because that rain and the concert.
Well, I see there's about rain in the forecast about every day this week.
But as of Thursday, it's cleared up now. It's supposed to be like 87, hotter than blazes. No rain. But they put up new fence all around.
Seen that.
So they got it looking nice.
New windscreen out there by McDonald's.
Yeah. It's just, I guess, no, I don't really care, but like for the kids' sake, the carnival's nothing like it used to be.
No.
But I don't know if there's any carnivals like that anymore.
I remember the Bluegrass show was the big one when I was a kid.
Had the double Ferris wheel, the Ring of Fire,
Me and
the
Lisa
Gravitron that I would not get on.
Me and Lisa and I were up at Iowa City doing something, and that Bluegrass show was doing their state fair.
Oh, really? Dude, you remember in the fair, you used to have rides from Henderson,
yes,
the fence, all the way to the cattle barn? Like,
yeah.
Just slam packed.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And now it's half that. And
I don't even know if it's half.
That includes the games and everything.
Yeah.
That's $30, man. You could ride every ride in that fairgrounds in 40 minutes.
If that long.
And then what?
Start over, I guess.
I mean, back in Hasley, they do the little stuff. They like the petting zoo and stuff like that. But it just sucks that it's always hot. But I guess it's better than the alternative, raining.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd rather have a hot than rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took a pretty good hit last year, didn't they?
Yeah. At least the races got canceled. Did the tractor pull get canceled? And they had to move the concert out to the grass because the track was flooded, which I think was set up, actually ended up being okay, but I think it deterred a lot of people. Ticket sales were probably down. I'm guessing a lot of people wait because they're non-refundable. They probably wait till a day or two prior to see the weather forecast before they buy their stuff. But.
Well, and I know the fair board the fair doesn't have nothing to do with this, but them kids that bought them bands, $30 didn't even get to ride the rides.
Nope, and non-refundable.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah, so
that's shady.
We'll give the kids. I mean.
I don't know
if
what
they get rains out Friday, darn for me, but I don't really care.
I don't know. Everything's so expensive.
Yeah. But you know me, I'm getting grouchier as I get older.
Little Larry
and
coming out.
The fair doesn't do it for me, man.
It doesn't do it for me either, brother. And a lot does it for me anymore.
I will get a hot dog. I will get a foot-long hot dog, or corn dog, though.
Corn dog?
Yeah.
Corn dog. I don't know. I used to like it better when it opened at noon.
Yeah, because there used to be at least one day when I was younger, the rides were in the morning.
Yeah, from noon to...
Yeah.
Hell, they had 2 or 3 armband days when I was a kid.
And now is it all armbands? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if you can buy tickets anymore. Yeah. Maybe. But it's probably like a ticket's probably $2 and it's probably $2 a ticket or something.
Right.
Or 2 tickets a ride, I meant.
Probably 4 tickets.
Whatever.
Yeah, I used to have fun when I was a kid.
Yeah. I liked going, but like I said, I wouldn't ride. Like,
but I didn't.
I wouldn't ride the crazy.
I rode
spinny
some
stuff.
rides, but not all them crazy.
Yeah.
Turn upside down and all that.
Yeah. Once you start feeling gross, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's something to do. Series again. Last night, I turned it on in the 4th or 5th, and the Cardinals were down 10.
Yeah, they ended up losing 11-0.
That's good.
Pretty swell series. The Cubs scored about, let's see.
They scored a lot of runs. this weekend?
27 runs, I think it was.
Jesus. I don't get it. And then here in a few weeks, the Cardinals will look unstoppable. And then they'll, maybe not. I don't know. It's been that way a couple of times this year. Oh, Joe Rogan's against him now, too. Well, not against him, but.
Blast him what he does.
So, the headline here on TV, Musk and Trump are splitting the sheets now, it looks like, right?
It did to me. That's what it said.
Joe Rogan is not happy with the targeting of some of the ICE raids, but if you are happy about it, you got issues, and it is what it is, and I don't care if you like it or not.
You know, the sad part is he don't care who talks about him anyway.
No, I think he likes it. It's publicity.
Right.
Like, bad press is good press, you know, like
better not.
Your name's being circulated. Oh boy. Let's be honest. In the long run, personally, I probably won't be affected. You know, my life.
Right.
But it's just
I never really noticed my life ever being affected. To tell
in
you
the next
truth.
10 years, how this big, beautiful bill is, 10 million people will lose their insurance, their Medicare
that'll be
coverage,
a problem.
which is going to lead to how many deaths?
That'll be a problem.
I mean, that's going to lead to hospitals shutting down.
I heard there'll be several thousand hospitals.
And then what? 2 hours to your nearest hospital? Like,
When you have money, you don't care.
No.
You're living right by your hospital.
it's something, man. And unfortunately, if the Democrats win the next election, I don't know who the heck that's going to be, they'll just do nothing but try to, well, let's just undo all of this.
Right.
And then now we're back to that. And then the Republican, let's undo all that. Like,
That's all we
I'm
do.
sure there's stuff in this bill that a Democrat could look at, like, you know what, that's not a bad idea.
Right.
Let's keep that going.
Right.
I'm sure it's in there. But the problem is nobody's ever going to look both ways.
No.
They're not going to.
Used to be that way.
Yeah, they're not going to try.
No.
But what do you do, right? Just sit
I mean,
here.
that basically, if you really think about it, that all started with Obamacare when Trump was going to get rid of Obamacare.
Yeah,
And then
first day.
he got into office and realized how good Obamacare was.
Yeah. He was going to get his first day and his first term, right? And it's still going. So.
Donnie Dum.
But I guess to each their own, I suppose.
I don't care.
Hopefully the ones that think it's a good idea don't get screwed too bad,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's what I just hope you supported this dumb bastard that don't come back to bite you in the long run.
Yeah. And just the biggest concern for me is whether policies are good or bad on either side is the lack of empathy that
Oh
people
my
have.
God, it's terrible.
Like, oh, well, that person's foreign and maybe they're not, so they don't deserve, like, I get it. Maybe they
Dude.
don't deserve to be here, but they deserve, like, life. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
was just telling my wife this yesterday. We're all human beings, man.
yeah. And he was going to send the active Marines to these protests and potentially, like, there was talk and not like serious talk. Like,
Shooting them in
what
the
if,
legs
What
and
if
shit.
like our own military shot our own people? And some people are like, good, they shouldn't be protesting. Well, there goes your First Amendment right. that
Yes.
everybody's like, oh, the Constitution. Yeah. But step one, freedom of speech. Now,
And
if
protest.
a protester's lighting stuff on fire, throwing rocks, hitting,
That's a problem.
you don't have to take them down.
Yes.
That's a massive. But if they're out there chanting
Oh,
or
wait,
whatever they're
hey,
doing.
you mean kind of like January 6th?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No, I think you should let these people
That's a
go.
good point. That's a good point.
I think you should let them go. That's
a
what they
good
did on
point.
January 6th. Let them go.
Yeah, but January 6th is fine.
Yeah, it was
Some people said they opened the doors for them to come in.
yeah.
Then why were windows broken
That was
out?
what they call it. That's patriotism.
Yeah, cool.
They're patriotic.
And I like that's a new thing. Well, you're not a patriot. Okay. I guess not. I don't know what that means. Like, but okay.
I'm not going to go tear down the Capitol to be a patriot.
You're right. Well, you're not a patriot. You don't love your country. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's why I think what's going on in
It's
it, half of it's
crooked.
insane.
Yes, I love my country. I wish more people would get over here.
And the
If
fact
you
that
really close the door, get in the closet, man, and think about some of the stuff you're for, and you'll be like, what am I doing?
and like you said earlier, until it happens to them, and then they'll be the first to complain it's happening to them.
Yep.
All the January 6th people got pardoned.
Yep.
So be it. Not my choice. They love it. They should be.
No, they shouldn't have been.
All the protesters that have been arrested or whatever, I'm sure there's been some.
They should be pardoned.
Yeah, but they threw rocks through windows and they were threw rocks at police. Yeah, that's wrong.
They tore our fucking Capitol up.
I love it. It's true. It's true. I don't think any of them should be pardoned.
No.
On either side. Get them out.
No.
But the double standards, man, they're not going to stop.
The hypocrisy, man.
At some point, it has to become entertainment. That's the scary thing. It almost seems like it's entertainment.
It is entertainment.
I mean, we do have a reality TV star.
Donnie
running.
Dumb.
Yeah. And now, let's see, Dr. Oz, who another reality star is on his
Now we can
side.
call him Dr. Dumb.
Elon Musk, I don't know if he's still on his side or not. I don't know.
I think he finally tried to get out of the cuckoo's nest.
I think Elon Musk did this to boost, because he's super smart. He's
Right.
like, you know what? I'm going to play along. I'm going to get in. I'm going to get my hands on all this data that he's going to now work with for whatever he's doing. And now, let's be honest, if he starts his own political whatever, and he gets, I mean, the Democrats are going to vote Democrat. But some of the Republicans who think Donald Trump's kind of losing it are going to vote for Musk, which
Right.
takes, what is it called, the American Party or something?
Yeah.
That would take, in theory, the American Party and the Republican Party would lose every election there is then, because their votes would now be split between
Right.
two. So, not a good idea.
No.
Do I think this third party's ever going to get off the ground and running? No.
He
But
has
he
the
has the
money
money
to
to do it. So you never know with him. It would be interesting. Heck, maybe he'd sell me on it.
I think if
What do
he
you
would,
think?
I think if he would get another party, you'd see how counterfeit it is. I think if he got another party, them two parties would join together to keep control. The
Could be.
Republicans and the Democrats. They always want control of it.
But Musk is typically a Democrat.
Well, I know.
What if he pulls in all the Democrats? Like sands through the hourglass, man.
Shit show, ain't it?
I love it. Well, we've made it 41 minutes in, and last time when I started talking about this is when it shut off. So, I believe Sunday's still good for me.
I believe it'll work for me.
If not, we'll figure it out.
We always do.
But I'll come up with some more topics, maybe try to steer clear from the politics unless something good happens.
Yeah, we
But-
had too big of a douse of that today.
Yeah, but it was a big week.
It was a big week.
Beautiful Bill week.
Big, beautiful Bill.
So we'll come up with something else. If not, we'll just sit here and annoy people with meaningless
And
conversations.
bitch about things.
That's what we're good at.
We are good at
So it was good to see you on Sunday and Monday.
that. Good to see you
And I
too,
will see
Chad.
you at least on Sunday again.
Till then.
All right, we'll see.